Good evening, or hello, whatever time it is where you are. I'm McGuible, and just now I'm ganking. We're going to do this for about half an hour, and then move things to a station in Jita. So it's like a tale of two halves. You may have seen on YouTube that I've been doing some ganking. And mostly it's just scanning ships. I've had an awful lot of bad luck since I started doing this on YouTube and filming it and what have you. It's just the way it goes. I've had a couple of drops, but none of the ridiculous stuff that I was having before I started. So what I've been doing on YouTube is having a couple of sessions of about an hour or so each on different gates. Talking over what I do. It's inspired some people to do it, or reminded some people of some stuff that maybe they did in the past. So what we'll do is I'll do this for about half an hour on the gate that I'm on. And then we'll move to Jita station. And in Jita, I'll still be shooting things, scanning and shooting things, but I'll be inviting you to loot the wrecks. And whether or not you share any loot that you find or you get with me is entirely up to yourself. Now, it could be that you're a seasoned ganker yourself, or it could be that it's something that you've never done before. So I'll pitch this at maybe the completely uninitiated. So I'll talk over the game mechanics, and any hints and tips. Any questions that you've got, please ask, and we'll see what we can do to answer them. So my setup at the moment is a bit over the top. I've got 3 thrashes, a boosting Gnosis, and my loot ship is a Jaguar. But the loot ship changes quite often. Excuse me. And I've also got an Okator as well. In case there's an emergency and I need to scoop the loot into something in case my looter ship gets scrammed. Ullum63 says, recent YouTube sub and Twitch follower. Really been enjoying the content, thank you. Thanks very much. It's really appreciated. I'm honestly surprised that anyone was watching the YouTube videos at all. I thought it was quite a niche thing, but it's been an absolute delight to see people enjoying it, people watching it. And I did think that if there was going to be any feedback, it would be all "you're a bad man" kind of stuff, but not at all. I think people are just happy to see Eve content. So I'm sitting at a gate that I did a video about the other day. It's the very first gate that I started ganking on. And I remember even just feeling so intimidated when I started here. And just thinking that there was other people around the gate and just thinking, do I belong here? Are these people going to be aggressive towards me? Am I going to make a complete idiot of myself? I'm sure I did make a complete idiot of myself when I started, but that was about 5 years ago since I started on this gate. And it's kind of worked out. So when I started at this gate, I started around here. When I started, the autopilot warp-in point was 15 kilometers rather than the 10 kilometers it is now. So I used to sit around here, and my only target at that point was ships that were autopiloting or ships that had completely stopped. I jumped through and just sat there. So I would sit here, and the ships would warp in and land practically on top of me, and then slow boat the 15 kilometers to the gate. And at that point, that would give me the time to scan them, and if there was anything there, shoot them. But I was so green back then, I really didn't have a clue about ganking. I was trying to figure it out by myself. I hadn't read any guides. I'd seen a couple of fits, so I did go with a Thrasher. But I didn't know anything about Concord mechanics, about how all that worked, about security status. So that is maybe what made me do some of the videos, in part because I was thinking there's stuff there that it'd be nice to have it all in one place. But now I've moved to sitting on the gate with the idea of catching ships as they jump through. Apologies, I've got to keep muting the microphone. I'm coughing a bit and I don't want to do that in your ears. Casual Leave Gamer, are you feeling any better? I am. Despite what it sounds like, I've come out the other side of COVID, testing negative, just a bit of a persistent cough. There's lots of people got it worse. I think I got the milder variant, so wrecked Christmas a bit, but you can't have everything. Okay. So, sitting inside the gate, there's a couple of skills that you need to know about. You want to get your gunnery skills up. I'm using T2 artillery, but there's a skill I didn't even learn about till last year or realise the full implications of it, and that's survey. And excuse me a moment. What survey does is decrease the amount of time it takes for you to do your cargo scan, which is this mod here. Because everything's about doing it as quickly as you can here. I mean, look at that. Even 6 clone soldier transporter tags, 86 million in a Corvette. Johnny Oxford Verpio, if I pronounced that right. Does it still baffle you that so many people fly bad fit ships with ridiculous cargo? I think the sorts of ships that I'm seeing people flying, it's not the fit, it's the choice of ship. I mean, and the fact that people still autopilot as well. That's what shocks me more. Although I have seen some... That's a good question actually, because I have seen some terrible fits. Some ships flying with a decent cargo and maybe no mods installed at all. The flip side of that is you get some people who try and bait gankers and they fly a Corvette, but it's tanked to the point that even if I hit them with full whack, they can tank me. So yeah, I guess you could blame the ship, but sometimes a Corvette can be pretty decent. And frigates are a good mix as well. Some of the pirate frigates can tank three thrashes easily. It's quite an accomplishment. But the ridiculous cargo aspect, definitely. I mean, there's just no reason at all for people to undock with Plex on board. But, you know, I'm glad that they do. And this is probably the one gate more than any other where you'll get people with skill injectors on board. Now, I do not know what prompts people to undock with a skill injector. In a Corvette or in a shuttle or in a Venture or in a frigate. But we see it all the time. So I've got 6 client windows open here on my old laptop. But the only one that I've got streaming on Twitch is MacGybo's. Okay. And where I'm sitting here, to the right, I've got gates. All the other gates come through perimeter into Jita. They land on this side of the gate. And on this side of the gate are ships that come down from the structures in perimeter. And that includes the Tranquility Trading Tower, which is the place in perimeter next to Jita that sells everything a wee bit cheaper than the Jita IV-4 market hub. So you do get people, I don't know why, maybe someone could suggest why, but why people would buy skill injectors in that station, jump into Jita with them on board, and then go to 4-4. I don't understand it. I mean, as a market item, if you want to trade, it seems like such a strange item to pick, because there's not much of a margin in it. It can be quite volatile as well, the price of it. I'm sure that there are far better things to try and trade in. Good evening, Sia Pong. Now this miasmos here is autopiloting into Jita from the Tranquility Trading Tower. One jump. I think it would actually take longer to set up autopilot than to manually just jump through one gate. But you see crazy things slow boating on this route here. I saw I think it was a Nereus one time, a T1 industrial ship with 99 skill extractors on board. And I only had 2 thrashers on, and I tried. It wasn't even that well tanked, and I got it into low hull, but that was it. If I'd had my 3rd one on, then it would have been mine. I was just sitting screaming at the screen. So Sam Beyond, market traders usually create buy orders in Jita with range equals 1 jump. Maybe they got an order fulfilled in the TTT and are now shipping the injectors to IV-4 to sell again. Yeah, that's... Is it not cheaper to set up buy orders at TTT? So could it be the other way around? Yeah, it could be. But surely somebody who's engaged in trading like that, I mean, are they going to be shipping them in corvettes? There's a little bit of a pattern to people who get caught with multiple skill injectors on board. Look at that. Autopiloting in a shuttle. That's crazy. So yeah, there's a little bit of a pattern to the people who've been caught with multiple skill injectors. It's either day 1 alts or someone who's maybe played EVE, been away for a while and then come back. Doesn't really seem to be day-to-day active players that get caught doing this. Although there was a guy that I caught with over 20 skill injectors, and he said he was buying them for his corp. Well, that makes even less sense that you would fly them, because if it's for multiple people and they can be remotely activated, no reason at all to undock with them. But I'm talking myself out of a business here. Johnny Oxford, let me see. I was muted there, but I don't know how long I was muted for. Did you get Johnny Oxford Verpio? Did you hear me say my response to it must be a misconception that by flying corvettes that you wouldn't think you had anything valuable? Did you hear my response to that? Or did I mute myself right the way through that? No. Okay, right. No worries. I'll go through that again. So Johnny says it must be a misconception that by flying corvettes that you wouldn't think that they had anything valuable. They do. People do. It's a free ship as well, isn't it? So it's one that everyone can get access to. So they do. You imagine anything daft and people are doing it. And the reason that I've got the Corvette set up on my overview is the Corvette is a ship that can be, if I target here and repeatedly hit the left mouse button, and I've got F1 ready with my cargo scanner, a Corvette is a ship that I can target, scan, and then decide whether or not to shoot in the amount of time it takes for it to align. I've got company on this gate. But I'm happy to shoot a shuttle or a frigate if it wants to autopilot towards me as well. But yeah, people flying them. I'm happy that they do. Right. Griffins. Hello, Griffins. I've got one kill rate active and it's 300 million. If you want to pay that, go for it. Oh, look at this. So, Griffins, this doesn't bother me at all because this is a complete misconception of what high-set ganking is. This is alpha ganking. This is one shot. So the moment that I go criminal and you can attack me, my job's done. I'm not like a ganker that needs multiple shots. Look, I've only got 2 rounds of ammo loaded. So a Griffin here is absolutely no use at all. I mean, it can jam me, but by the time it's jammed me, I've done my shot. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm not even on that character anymore. So IMAG says most of beginners don't know that you don't need to transport injectors. I think the worst thing that ever happened in EVE for gankers was the introduction of the Plex vault. That was a nightmare. Because before that, people would take these 28-day Plexes and transport them around. And if you don't know, then nowadays it's 500 Plex for 1 month for 30 days game time. But before this, it was 1 Plex was a 30-day item. And I'll show you a. Let me have a look. Okay. Gosh. So that's what it used to look like. It's called a 30-day pilot's license extension, Plex. So one of those would do you for 30 days. That's each one was the equivalent of 500 Plex that you get now. And that was before the Plex vault. So the Plex vault now is something that allows you to move Plex between different areas without leaving the station. It's like a bank. There didn't used to be a Plex vault. And I'm wondering if it was the gankers like myself that were taking plex from people that maybe force that change, or at least give people the option. Because that's serious, you know, 28 plex would be, what would that be? So what is it for a month's game time at the moment? About 17, well, I'll say £17. What is it for a month's game time in dollars at the moment? So we got 17 multiplied by 28. That's about £476. Would that be about $350? Yeah. I mean, if that happens a few times, then I would imagine there's pressure on CCP to change the way that they do things. $15. So, wow. So it's cheaper in dollars. Or am I looking at £17 as being for 500 plex? Is that different? Okay. So 15, 28. So $420. Good number. Johnny Oxford Verpio, are you getting ready to gank the TARDIS? Wow. People do not like this Doctor Who crossover. I quite like it. I quite like the idea. I'm excited about it. I mean, my kids play Fortnite and they've got the Marvel crossovers, and it's just a fresh bit of content, and don't have a problem with that. If you don't like it, don't do it. And it'll bring fresh meat to the game as well. Unsober Meerkat, why gank? Let's do some actual PvP. You go for it, mate. I'm sure that you're far better at PvP than I am. And there's lots of other streamers who are much better at PvP than me. I was part of Stay Frosty for 5 years, so I did a fair share of low-sec PvP. And then part of an alliance called Bruce about, I don't know, 14 years ago? Okay. Griffins. They're like midgies. Little flies swarming around. Alonso One Mask asks, what is your lowest limit to gank someone in the cargo? Well, it depends on how many ships it's going to take to kill. So, if it's something that one Thrasher can kill, I would say about 175 million, 200 million. But to be honest, I'm looking for more. When you get the bigger kills, like the billions and billions, it gives you such a buzz that you just return for those ones. You don't return for the 200 million kills. You return for the big sexy kills. Okay, so it's almost past. So I'm gonna move through to Jita. Now, is there anyone in the chat actually in Jita at the station? We're going to do some killing, and you're more than welcome to come and loot there as well. Aye, Mark, you're in. Good. See a Pong's coming. A Casual Eve Gamer's there as well. Okay. So what I'm actually going to do is log off my own loot ship and just move my Thrashes and my boost ship to the station. Now, to get the sweet spot, the perfect spot for where you want to be, probably the best way to do it is to be on the perimeter gate. I'll show you. Just be on the perimeter gate and just warp to the station. Okay?
Warp drive active.
So if you do that, you'll see that there's a number of ships milling around. Okay.
Warp drive active.
Okay. Right.
Warp drive active.
Excuse me a minute, just setting things up. So you'll see that there's a number of ships there with the surname Fury. Vit Fury, Zvat Fury, and Grige Fury. They're automated, which means that they will scoop it automatically. And what you've got to try and do is reach the loot before they do. Okay. And what I'm going to do is just scan the ships that are coming up. And if I see anything, I'm just going to pop it. Now what you want to do is make sure that on your overview you have got a tab that just says loot, and have it so it is just Rex and nothing else. Okay, here comes the bumpers, no worries. So the reason that this works is because people who choose to warp to the station won't necessarily land in a point that they can dock, and they might land a couple of kilometers short. And that couple of kilometers is just enough time for a ship to be scanned. And there's a whole industry just to take advantage of that couple of kilometers that are here. So you can have, you will have enough time to scan a shuttle. Some frigates, definitely ships that you wouldn't be able to lock at a gate. Look, for example, there, that Synesis. There's no way I would have been able to catch that at the gate. Synesis has got a very fast align time, so you think of it as a safe ship. But when you get to the station here, you're just giving yourself away by warping directly to the station. So if anybody wants to get in a ship that bumps the Furies, absolutely go for it. Okay. So some of the rules to this is, if you see a venture coming in, you always shoot it. Not a venture, sorry. If you see a leopard coming in, you always shoot it. Okay, so are you in place? Are you ready to go? Okay. Pong's at the landing spot. Let's have a look. This is an even crazier place to scan things. Okay. So, yeah, someone tried to gank me there. Yeah, they did. No worries. Okay. Not a problem. So just switch over to another pilot. That works all right.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, so switched over to another pilot there. Now this pilot, the rigs aren't as quick for scanning. So we'll get MacGybo back out as soon as possible. We'll just get my boosting ship to boost here. There we go. And someone else is lining up to take another shot. Not a problem. Okay. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of thrashes out there. So I take it this is as soon as you do something on Twitch, people come along to try and steal the show. You go for it, pal. There's always ways around it, isn't there?
Docking permission requested.
Okay.
Docking request accepted.
Yep, there's another one gone. No worries, this is going to cost you more than it will cost me. Oh, this is funny. Okay. Oh, this is funny. Right, okay.
Warp drive active.
Okay. Gonna switch back to MacGyver.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay.
Warp drive active.
Right, if you're still there, let's get something killed. Right, let's give this a try. Yeah, I've got a feeling I'm going to go through quite a few thrashes tonight. That's fine, I've got lots. Yeah. Okay, this is not going to plan. Siapong, is it better to sit 160 kilometers and warp to the wreck? No, because when you've got a wreck 150 kilometers or 160 kilometers away, and it shows up on your overview, you can't warp to it straight away. What happens is you can right click on it straight away, but it doesn't give you the option to warp. There is a shortcut, a way around it, which is to Now what would that be? It would be to bookmark the wreck and then walk to the bookmark, which is a very long way of going around it. But apparently that is a lot quicker than just right-clicking the wreck and then warping to it. Let's keep going. It's a shame we're not going to get the opportunity to do what we planned. But this is the nature of Eve. So let's just keep going. Okay. Got a few thrashers left. Okay, who am I on? I'm on MacGybo. Okay. Party Meninjadad says thrashes equals content. You're right. People generally only undock in thrashes if they're up to no good.
Warp drive active.
Okay. Sitting in the wrong place. So I'm gonna try sitting somewhere else. Try warping to here.
Warp drive active.
And then sitting about 10 kilometers back. Where am I here? Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So let's go this way a bit. So you'll see my distance from the station's actually 0. So if they start to shoot my thrasher again, I can just dock up and then undock. Okay, this looks like a good spot. Chicken Noodleberg, wish I could join you, but alas my computer is kaput. I've been there, that's not a lot of fun. Okay. Can we now try and kill something? Something got killed. Nope, someone tried to kill one of my ults and failed. Sorry, mate.
Permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay. Let's get back to what we're here for. Okay. I don't mind losing thrashes. It's kind of part of being a ganker is that you don't really want to redock in a thrasher. If you do, it means things aren't going to plan. But usually you don't want it to be because other thrashers are killing you. So we're looking for this sweet spot of where these ships are landing. Even if we can get a couple of decent scans. What did I tell you? As soon as I switch on stream or a cam or try to record something, it all goes to pot. So where's Hey Hey? Okay. Right. So who've I got next to the... I've got... Is anyone still at the undock, at the docking point? AORK123 says, I'm here in a thrasher, how do I gank with you? Well, I'm not looking for thrashers at the moment, I'm looking for ships to collect the loot at the docking point. So if you can move your thrasher even up next to the Furies and see if you can loot any wrecks before they get to them. And we'll give this another few minutes. Has anyone bought a ship to bump with? Because if anyone here can bump the Nightmare, the Orca, or the Wreath, then I might have something I can give away as a prize. So, if you are thinking of ganking, you want to start doing it, this is a good place, and also a questionable place to do it. It's good because this little window of a couple of kilometers can be easily taken advantage of. The downside is these bots here that might well loot the ship before you. But there isn't anywhere else like this. I've sat at the Dodixie station and it isn't quite as sweet because in Dodixie there's like a flat end of the station, and there are 3 different points at which people can warp into the station, and they're a good 60 kilometers apart. So there's 2 of them that are within about 10 kilometers, and then the third one is about 60 kilometers and it's underneath. Whereas with Jita, you've got 4 gates that come in all at the same point. So this is just perfect storm. And Dodixie's a lot quieter as well. I'd say it's got about 5% of the traffic. Party men in... Oh. Part-time Ninja Dad. Is that how you pronounce it? Part-time Ninja Dad. Is that right? What do we do to bump? Well, ideally you would have a stabber. Locking the station's not going to do any good. Yeah, a stabber's probably the best ship. Stabber fleet issue with a 500 MN micro warp drive. You're not going to get very far with a frigate. Oh, there we go.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Yep. Oh, Thrash is all good. Sorry, guys. Hey, Mac, have you ever done sus baiting? No. There's so many different scams going on the undock. This is mine. I like doing the Corvettes. I don't like being on the station at all. You can see why. This isn't my thing. I thought if I set this up, then people might be able to loot. But it's too busy. There's too much attention. So I think I would like to do something like this again, but maybe take it somewhere a little quieter and have you loot for me somewhere else. The advantage of, well, you've seen there, if someone wants to bring out 3 or 4 thrashes, there's very little that you can do about it. But it's all content, it's all good. And just gonna see if there's something that we can do before we go. Let's see what we can do. I think if you're going to be a ganker, if you want to be a ganker, then keep it under the radar. Because as soon as you start doing YouTube videos and such like you end up with people wanting to come and shoot you, and that's something you've got to take into account. 62 kilometers, okay. So I think the count is I've lost about 4 thrashers and being ganked by people who must have lost about 12 or 13. So it's all just small fish. I haven't even got a decent scan, never mind a decent gank. So as far as content goes, do apologise. That's one of ours. Is that griffin gone? Oh, I wanted to kill that griffin. I had to leave for a few minutes. Did I miss anything? Missed anything? Just another attempt on my sweet thrasher. But I think I'm going to call it a day. Lessons learned. Know what to do next time to make it a little more chance of getting some loot. If you've got any ideas for what you'd like to see in future streams, anything that you think would be quite fun to do, any ideas, let me know. Got a couple of ideas. But I think I've got too much attention here. Here's someone suspect on the station, but I think you mentioned that before. Volta sends its regards. Aww. Hello, Volta. I think I killed someone from Volta the other day. Is that why you're upset? I'm sure I got a Volta kill. Where am I? Kills, kills, kills. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's Volta, that's why they've come. So they dropped this Volta pilot, it was in a breacher, who jumped through into Jita and then just sat AFK at the gate. And it looks like 348,000. But actually, I think I've got them up for sale for... Yeah. I got 10 of them, so that's about $1 billion. So that kind of makes up for the thrashers that I lost tonight. Thanks, Volta. Lovely for you to drop by. I think I'm still up. But no, thanks for coming by. It's it possibly made it a little bit more exciting than sitting scanning empty shuttles. Well, thanks very much for dropping by. I'm sorry there wasn't a little bit more to drop your way. And have a little think about what we can do next time to guarantee that you get some ISK in your pocket. But that's Jita IV-4. I think I learnt a little bit about it there. It's not a bad place to start ganking that little spot just before that cluster. And if you go there just after downtime, for about an hour or so, you might actually get on before the Furies log on. Or if they're logged on, it seems like they don't start being active for maybe a couple of hours after downtime. So there's a little window there for when you can maybe try and gank, and it isn't like this all the time. The only reason that I'm getting ganked here by other thrashers is because I'm doing the stream. So if you wanted to swing by and start doing ganking here, you wouldn't have the obstacles that I've had tonight. I would say that this is probably the worst place to start out ganking. I would say start on, well, there's a gate. Let me just see this shuttle. There's a brilliant gate. I'll show you. I'll just go to it and then I'll call it a night. So I'll just turn off the alts. Lazarus Sharp 84 UK. If you gank, we will find you, stream or no stream. Please, I've been doing this, like I say, for 5 years now. And if I am going to be your content, if I'm going to be your reason for playing Eve, I'm flattered. Come along. Join me. There have been other people who've logged on to stop, and some of them have been successful for a while. In fact, you look at these guys here. You'll see I've got them set red. They're called 3 Sharks. Now, I set them red because I joined this ganking community. I was invited to it, and they had a list of people that I should set red. And they told me about 3 Sharks, and they started off being loot thieves and ended up pushing away some of the other gankers, and then they've progressed into ganking themselves. So they operate on both of the gates, both of the busy gates in Jita, but they tend to use tornadoes, so it doesn't really cross over with the targets that I'm going for. So if you're going to start out, I recommend this gate here. Now this gate is the Erlen gate in Perimeter, and the reason I would recommend it is because you get autopiloting traffic. Look at this, right on cue. Autopiloting traffic coming from Jita. It is a much quieter grid. So whereas the Perimeter gate in Jita has got 3 other gates on grid and a lot of traffic going through and a lot of people hanging around, it slows the grid right down. It makes it so it's difficult for, like, if I'm just looking for corvettes, you get corvettes coming through the other gates as well. And it's better than the Jita gate and perimeter because that's got all of the structures around it. So if you're just looking for corvettes, you're going to get corvettes that are undocking from the trading tower and what have you as well. This is perfect because it's got no stations really on grid. There's one a little bit further away, and it's got no other gates on the grid either. So it's purely a ganking. It isn't as busy as the other ones, but as a beginner's one, I recommend that you come here. Filthmaster, doing this for 5 years, that's more sad than anything, to be honest. You're right, it absolutely is. I do stop from time to time and have little periods in low sec with what do you call them? With Stay Frosty. But there's it's
Drive active.
no, these guys are after me again. More sad than anything. Yeah, it's kind of something you can do AFK as well, but mate, you're logged into Twitch watching me do this. You know, yeah, we're all sad. You know, internet spaceships, mate. Ganking is the man's jam. Not sure I like to compare what I do to man jam. Hello, Crazy Ganker, Happy New Year. Andrea Lucian, Happy New Year to you as well. Alum63, good luck, Max. See you later. I'll be looking out for more YouTube content. Yeah, I think YouTube might be a bit safer than Twitch. But I'm going to call it a day. So, thank you very much. Fly safe, fly dirty, and thanks for dropping by. Goodbye now.